You wake to a quiet house and a loud mind. Tasks crowd the doorway. Doubts stand with folded arms. You have carried real weight for years: family, work, health, the long list that never ends. Still, some part of you is asking for a cleaner line forward. Not a quick fix, a truer path. Picture an arena at dawn. Empty seats, cool air. Sand not yet marked by footsteps. The gate is open. You are not here to prove yourself to strangers. You are here to meet yourself without noise. You are here to find what you do best when the world is real and the stakes are human. Good morning, everyone. Today we step onto that sand together. You will not be talked down to. You will not be rushed. I will walk beside you like a steady coach who respects your miles and also expects your effort. We will keep one clear image for this whole journey: the arena. It is where fear shows up and becomes useful. It is where skill is shaped by contact, not by theory. It is where you notice the moves that fit your hands and the moves that do not. You have lived long enough to know that advice without action fades. So everything here will be grounded. Small steps, real outcomes, honest reviews, and the kind of progress that holds under pressure. In this arena, you will learn to enter with calm, to place your feet, to breathe when the crowd in your head gets loud. You will learn which challenges are worth your effort and which ones are expensive distractions. You will build a short daily practice that respects your limits and still asks for your best. When you stumble, we turn the fall into data, and you stand up with less drama and more clarity. When you win, you bank the lesson instead of chasing applause. You will keep your attention on the work and let the work tell you who you are becoming. If you have been carrying regrets, bring them in and lay them down. If you have been carrying pride, bring it in and lay it down too. The arena does not reward shame or ego. It rewards presence. It rewards the courage to try again tomorrow. It rewards the choice to do work that matches your core and to walk away from rooms that shrink you. By the time the sun is high, you will have taken one step that matters. Not a perfect step, a real one. Because this is serious, let me pause. Before the day rushes in, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, only if you truly enjoy what I am doing here. And in the comments, write your location, your time zone, and the time right now, this morning. Now, open the curtains and let the light in. Pour a glass of water, maybe brew a coffee or tea. Set your phone to do not disturb and take one deep breath. Let's begin our journey this morning. Chapter 1. Enter the arena. You stand at the edge of morning with the weight of many roles on your shoulders. Work asks, family asks, health asks, and you keep showing up. Still, there is a quiet request inside you, a wish to move in a way that feels true and sustainable. This chapter invites you to step into the arena with that wish in your hand. The arena is not a stage for applause. It is a place for honest contact with life. The light is soft. The air is cool. The sand has no path yet. You will draw the first line with your next step. You do not need a dramatic gesture to begin. You need a small action that touches the real world. When your shoes meet the sand, you receive information that thinking alone cannot give. Fear shows up, and that is useful. Doubt shows up, and that is useful too. They tell you where you care, where you need rest, and where you need skill. In the arena, you do not judge these signals. you translate them. Start by choosing a challenge that matters a little, not everything at once. Pick a task that fits inside one day and has a visible finish line. Maybe it is one page written, one call made, one decision finally taken, or one walk finished after dinner without your phone. The point is contact. The point is to let your body, your breath, and your attention meet something you can complete. Completion, even in small form, builds trust with yourself. Trust is the floor you stand on when the crowd inside your head gets loud. Before you move, pause and look around the arena. Ask yourself 3 simple questions. What do I value that I will not trade? Where in my day do I have natural energy? Which kinds of problems pull me forward without a push? You do not need perfect answers. You need honest ones. Write a few plain sentences in a small notebook. This is not about slogans. It is about direction. When your actions line up with those sentences, you feel a subtle flow. When they do not, your shoulders tighten and your jaw sets. Your body tells the truth even when your mind debates. Now mark your first finish line. Keep it clear and small enough that you can see it from here. If it feels too easy, good. Ease is the door you can actually open today. Walk toward it at a steady pace. While you work, expect a chorus of inner voices. Some will demand speed. Some will warn you that the step is too little to matter. Some will replay old scenes where you tried and stumbled. Thank those voices for trying to keep you safe. Then return to the task at hand. Let your breath be your metronome. Inhale, place a piece. Exhale, place another. When you finish, do not rush away. In the arena, the finish line is also a mirror. Take a brief review. What did you do? How did it feel in your body? What would you repeat? What would you retire? Keep your answers short and concrete. If your shoulders softened and your mind felt clearer, note that. If you forced every inch and ended drained, note that too. This is not judgment. This is data. Data shapes tomorrow. If you stumble before the finish, treat the fall like a coach would. Stop the move, reset your feet, lower the bar by 1 inch, then try again. In the arena, progress is not a straight road. It is a set of loops. You circle, you improve. You circle again. Each loop builds a thin layer of callus that protects you from the sting of the next try. Over time, the same contact that once scraped now barely scratches. That is growth you can trust. You may worry that your step is small compared to the efforts of others. Remember the arena rule. You measure yourself against your own yesterday, not against someone else in a different ring with different weather. Your step is yours. Own it. If you feel the urge to show it off for approval, breathe and look inward first. Did it move you toward your values? Did it match your natural energy? Did it touch a problem you care about? If the answers are yes, let the work be its own proof. Pride grounded in alignment will carry you further than applause grounded in performance. The arena rewards presence. That means you keep your focus on the move you are making now. You can plan, but you do not let tomorrow steal the attention that today needs. When you catch your mind sprinting ahead, bring it back to the next small motion you can control. Set your phone aside for a short window. Close extra tabs. Give the task the gift of a single channel. Presence turns minutes into momentum. It also helps to define a gentle boundary for effort. Too little, and you never warm up. too much, and you burn out. Aim for a zone where you feel challenged, but not crushed. You will know you are in the right zone when time passes a little faster. Your breath stays even, and you finish with a bit of fuel left. This is the zone you can return to again tomorrow. Consistency lives here. Confidence grows here. At the end of the day, walk back to the gate and mark your scoreboard on one small note. Write what you attempted, one lesson you learned, and one adjustment you will try next time. Keep the note where you will see it in the morning. That single glance will make entry easier next time. The brain loves closure. It also loves a clear next step. Give it both. Now for your micro-action. Pick one task that matters a little and ends today. Set a finish line that you can see from where you stand. Remove one distraction. Begin. When you finish, write 3 lines. What you did, how it felt, what you will change tomorrow. That is it. If you do only this, the arena will already be working on you. You might feel a swell of emotion as you leave the sand for the night. Relief that you finally moved. Frustration that you did not move more. Hope that tomorrow could hold a similar step. All of these are normal. Let them pass through. You are not chasing a dramatic scene. You are building a stable floor. Step by step, the arena becomes less strange and more like home. Soft bridge to the next chapter. You have entered the arena and taken your first honest step. Now you need a way to face the many choices that tomorrow will bring without spinning in circles. To do that, you will carry a simple inner compass that points to what matters and keeps your feet headed in the right direction. Chapter 2. The Inner Compass. There is a quiet instrument inside you that does not flash or ring. It settles, it points. When life tugs you in many directions, this compass is the only tool that travels light and still tells the truth. You will use it to decide what to start, what to stop, and what to carry with care. You will also use it to protect your energy so that the steps you took in the arena become a path instead of scattered footprints. This chapter is about building that compass and learning to read it under pressure. Begin with values you will not trade, not slogans, not what looks good on a wall. Real values are the lines in the sand that keep you from paying too high a price for a short win. Think of a moment when you said yes and later felt smaller. Somewhere in that scene you crossed a line you never named. Name it now. You might find words like honesty, usefulness, family steadiness, craft quality, or health. Keep the list short enough that you can carry it in your head. The compass does not need many points. It needs clear ones. When choices arrive, you lay them against these points and see which way the needle moves. Next, notice your daily energy by paying attention to your body instead of your calendar. Most people plan by hours on a clock and ignore the tide inside them. You will watch the tide. Over a simple week, observe when your mind is clear, when your patience is high, and when your hands like to make. You may find that early mornings are quiet and strong, that late afternoons are social and warm, and that evenings ask for repair rather than bold moves. This is not about forcing a perfect routine. It is about catching the current that is already moving. Your compass gains accuracy when you work with your own tide. Then study the kinds of problems that pull you in without a push. Some people feel alive when they rescue chaos and make it orderly. Some feel alive when they build something from nothing. Others come alive when they translate human needs into simple tools. Think back to yesterday's arena step. Ask what part of that step made you lose track of time in a clean way. Ask what part drained you fast. Your compass records these answers. You are not chasing novelty. You are mapping appetite. Appetite is a reliable guide when paired with values and energy. With these three elements in place, you build a simple daily loop that keeps the compass honest. At the end of each work block, write one short line: what you did, how your body felt, and whether the needle pointed toward or away from your north. Do not argue with the line. Do not decorate it. Let it be plain. Over days, the lines will form patterns that no motivational speech can counterfeit. You will see that work aligned with values and energy leaves a calm afterglow. You will see that work misaligned leaves grit in your teeth. The loop is not a journal of drama. It is a dashboard of direction. Guardrails come next. Without them, even a good compass will spin in a storm. You will set gentle edges around sleep, movement, focused time, and boredom. Sleep is the battery. Movement rinses the mind. Focused time gives your best hours to your best work. Boredom lets deep answers surface. You do not need to overhaul your life. You need small protections that keep your needle steady. Perhaps you place your phone in another room for one short work window each day. Perhaps you take a short walk after lunch to reset. Perhaps you give yourself one pocket of quiet before the house wakes. These are humble moves that create real stability. Now we clear borrowed goals. Many of the loudest aims in your head are not yours. They belong to peers, family stories, trend cycles, or an old version of you. To release them, ask two questions. Who am I hoping will clap if I reach this? Would I still want it if nobody ever knew? If the imagined applause is carrying the load, set the goal down for a week and watch how your body responds. If relief rushes in, you have found a borrowed weight. Let it go. Your compass cannot point north while you drag magnets in your pockets. With a lighter pocket, write a north statement in plain language. One short paragraph is enough. You will state the values you stand on, the times of day that hold your best work, the types of problems that wake your curiosity, and the kind of outcome that feels worth your life. Keep it simple. Keep it human. This is not a brand pitch. It is a note you can read when the room gets noisy. Place the note where you decide things, near your desk, on the first page of your planner, or inside the cover of a notebook you carry. The location matters because when pressure rises, you reach for what is close. Reading the compass requires practice during calm moments, so you can trust it during crowded ones. Each morning, before messages arrive, glance at your North statement and ask what small actions today would respect it. Choose one move that matches your values, lands in your strong hours, and touches a problem you care about. Place that move at the center of your day. Give it a simple finish line. Protect it with your guardrails. This is how the compass turns from words into direction. You act in alignment on purpose, not by luck. There will be days when the needle wobbles. A crisis at work, a family need, a body that asks for rest. On those days, your compass helps you choose what to trade and what to defend. You can trade ambition for care and remain true. You can trade output for recovery and remain true. You do not trade integrity or health to buy speed. You do not trade essential relationships to buy applause. When the day closes, the compass invites you to reset rather than to spiral. You respect the storm and return to your north as soon as the sky clears. You will meet people who pull you off track with the best of intentions. Some will push you toward their version of success. Some will invite you into rooms that look bright but shrink your voice. Let the compass answer for you. If a choice bends your values or steals your best hours from your best work, thank the offer and step aside. Turning down the wrong room is not a loss. It is a vote for your future. Over time, you will feel a new kind of confidence. Not loud, not brittle. A quiet steadiness that grows when your actions and your inner direction agree. You stop needing constant validation because your days validate themselves. You stop fearing a single mistake because your loop turns mistakes into guidance. The compass does not promise an easy life. It promises a coherent one. That coherence frees energy for the steps that count. Now your micro-action. Write your one-paragraph North statement in plain words. Include a short line on values you will not trade, a short line on your strong hours, a short line on the kinds of problems that pull you, and a short line on outcomes that feel meaningful. Put the note where you decide. For the next 3 days, begin by reading it once and choosing one small action that respects it. End by writing one line about how it felt. This is simple enough to do and strong enough to matter. Soft bridge to the next chapter. A compass points, but it does not reveal every road. To move with confidence, you will need a map of the skills and arenas around you. In the next chapter, you will unroll that map, mark the places you have walked, and plan tiny trips that let your unique pattern come into view. Chapter 3. Map the terrain. Spread a simple map across an imaginary wooden table. The surface holds ridges and valleys, rivers and crossroads, all drawn in plain lines. This is the landscape of your skills and arenas. You already walked parts of it without noticing. You also stared at distant hills and told yourself maybe later. Today you mark what is real, where you have moved with ease, where you have slipped, where you have felt an honest pull, and where you have only chased noise. The map is not a trophy, it is a tool. It helps you choose the next trail with a clear head and a steady heart. Begin with the regions you know. Technical work may be one ridge. Social and relational work may be another. Creative making sits like a valley that catches ideas and lets them grow. Operational work runs like a river that keeps teams and tools moving in rhythm. Name the places you have actually walked. Write the tasks you have finished, the tools you use without thinking, the conversations you navigate with calm. This does not need grand language, it needs accuracy. When you honor what you have really done, the map starts to carry weight. Confidence comes from contact, and contact leaves tracks you can draw. Now look for gateway skills, the moves that open many doors. Clear communication is a gateway because it lifts every other strength. Systems thinking is a gateway because it turns scattered tasks into a simple path. Selling ideas is a gateway because it brings allies to your side. Fast learning is a gateway because it shortens the distance from novice to useful. Mark these gates with small stars on your map. If you have even a little footing in them, circle the area. A small investment here multiplies value across the entire landscape. You are not trying to be a master of everything. You are choosing levers that move many parts at once. Next, mark the intersections. Unique value often lives where two trails cross. Perhaps your creative eye meets your operational steadiness. Perhaps your technical craft meets your gift for calm conversations under pressure. These crossings are more than pleasant blends. They can become your signature routes. Draw a small square at each intersection and label it with plain words. Do not worry about a perfect name. You are not branding. You are noticing pattern. Later, you will come back and test these places with small trips to see which ones deserve more time. The map also needs hazards. Every landscape has them. There are swamps of distraction where you sink hours into tasks that look like progress but never ship. There are cliffs of comparison where one glance at someone else makes you abandon your own trail. There are deserts of perfection where nothing grows because conditions are never good enough to begin. Draw them in. Knowing where danger lies is not fear. It is wisdom. When you meet these zones in the wild, you will recognize the shape and step aside sooner. With regions, gates, intersections, and hazards sketched, plan tiny expeditions. The point is safe exposure at low cost. Choose a weekend build that produces a small artifact. Choose a short collaboration that lets you share load with a trusted partner. Choose a brief volunteer task that puts your skills in service and gives you new angles. Choose a quick public demo that brings feedback from real people. Each trip should have a visible finish line, a clear goal that fits inside a small window. You are not signing up for a grand quest. You are taking scouting runs that teach you how the terrain feels underfoot. Before you set out, pack a pocket guide. On a single note, write the aim of the trip, the 2 or 3 moves you will test, and the simple measure that tells you if it worked. Keep the note where you can see it during the work. When the trip ends, flip the note over and write what moved, what stalled, and what you would change next time. This practice turns the map into a living document. It also keeps your ego in check. The map reports reality, not dream logic. Along the way, watch for signs of natural footing. In some areas, you regain energy while working. Time flows without frantic edges. Mistakes teach fast instead of lingering like shame. This is strong footing. Circle these spots and consider longer trips later. Also note where you slip. Some areas drain you quickly no matter your will. You can push there for short bursts when needed, but staking your future on slippery ground invites injury. A wise traveler builds the main path on steady soil and uses slippery zones for quick crossings only. Keep your compass visible as you walk. The compass from the last chapter points to values, energy patterns, and real appetite. The map tells you what exists. The compass tells you which direction fits you today. Together, they prevent 2 common errors. The first error is running toward the loudest hill simply because others are climbing it. The second error is hiding in a quiet valley just because it feels comfortable. Your task is simpler and braver. Go where your values are honored, where your energy slots in cleanly, and where the problem is worth your life. If a hill meets those tests, climb with focus. If it does not, wave to the crowd and move on without regret. As you explore, meet allies. Every landscape has helpful guides who know a shortcut or a safe water source. Partner with builders in adjacent regions where your strengths complement theirs. Offer your clarity where they have fog. Accept their craft where you are new. These exchanges teach you details that no map can capture alone. They also validate your intersection points. If others rely on you for a specific mix, pay attention. That mix could be a feature, not an accident. The map will change. New paths appear. Old paths fade. Do not laminate it. Keep a pencil in your pocket and update as you learn. When a region no longer fits your values or drains your best hours, reduce it to a thin line. When a new intersection lights up and brings real outcomes, thicken the trail. Treat your map like a living garden that needs pruning and care. This sense of stewardship prevents both stagnation and reckless thrashing. Protect against two illusions. The first is the mirage of endless options. On a map with too many bright marks, you lose depth. Choose fewer paths and walk them deeper. The second is the illusion of permanent identity. You are not a single dot frozen on paper. You are a traveler with rhythm. Allow growth. Allow upgrades. Allow a gentle turn when evidence invites it. Integrity is not rigidity. Integrity is the agreement between your actions and your core across real time. Toward the end of this mapping session, decide on a short series of trips. One trip should widen a gateway skill. One trip should test an intersection. One trip should deliver a small public artifact that others can see and respond to. Place each trip in a week on your calendar with a light boundary around it. Keep the scope narrow enough that you can complete it even if life throws wind at you. Completion turns sketches into signal. Now your micro-action. Choose one tiny expedition you can start within one day. Define the aim in one clear line. Choose two simple moves you will test. Set a finish line you can see from here. Remove one distraction and begin. When you finish, update your map with plain marks. One region deepened. One hazard confirmed. One intersection worth another visit. Put the updated map where you plan your next step. A visible map reduces friction, and reduced friction increases the odds that you will actually move. Soft bridge to the next chapter. A map without miles is only paper. To turn lines into strength, you need repeated contact with the right kind of resistance. In the next chapter, you will build calluses of action that protect your effort, sharpen your judgment, and make progress feel natural instead of forced. Chapter 4. Calluses of Action. Friction builds strength when it is the right kind of friction. A builder's hands do not become sure by reading about wood. They become sure by meeting wood again and again until the skin learns. Your abilities grow the same way. This chapter gives you a weekly cycle that turns contact into calm, mistakes into shape, and repetition into trust. It is not flashy. It works because the body and the mind cooperate when the work is concrete and the feedback is close. Begin with one clear task that touches the real world. Do not choose 10. Choose one. It should produce something you can point to when the hour ends or when the day ends. A finished page, a working sample, a booked conversation, a repaired system. Define the finish line in words you can read from where you stand. You do not move toward a cloud. You move toward a line on the sand. Now set the bar at a height that makes your pulse quicken without making your breath break. The right load wakes you up. Too little and you stay dull. Too much and you burn through form. Picture a craftsman lifting a weight that he can control through a full range. He chooses tension he can repeat with honesty. You will do the same. If you are unsure, lower the bar a notch. Confidence built on completion lasts longer than bravado built on strain. Enter a short, focus window. Remove one distraction that usually steals your attention at the start. Put the phone in another room. Close extra tabs. Tell a helpful person you will check in after you finish the line. Then begin. Let your breath be a metronome. Inhale and place one piece. Exhale and place the next. It is normal for the first minutes to feel awkward. Do not decide the worth of the session from those opening steps. Warmth arrives after contact. As you work, expect resistance. Some resistance is the sting of growth. Some resistance is a warning of poor form. Calluses form when you meet the first kind often. Injury comes when you ignore the second kind. Learn to tell them apart. The sting of growth feels like effort with a path forward. The warning of poor form feels like effort with a sense of misalignment. If you feel misalignment, pause and adjust your stance. Reduce the load. Shorten the range. Return to clean motion. Clean motion repeated creates sturdy layers that protect you tomorrow. Feedback is a forge. A forge is hot, brief, and shaping. Plan for feedback to arrive while the work is still warm. Ask one trusted person for one specific note. What worked? What lacked? What to try next? Make the question small so the answer can be sharp. Do not collect 10 opinions. Collect one and act. The point is not to be right in public. The point is to become precise in private. Track progress by the quality of your decisions rather than emotion in the moment. After each session, write 3 short lines on a small card. What you attempted. What you learned. What you will change next time. Keep the card where you will see it tomorrow. This tiny scoreboard trains your attention to return to process over drama. Over a month, you will notice that your adjustments get finer, your recovery after missteps gets quicker, and your sense of timing improves. Those are calluses you can feel even if no one else sees them yet. Mind the rhythm of recovery. Calluses grow when you rest before you crack. Many capable people mistake exhaustion for commitment. That is not commitment. That is erosion. Build in small resets. Walk for a few minutes between blocks. Drink water. Stretch your hands. Step outside and let your eyes focus on a far object to relax the tight focus of the work. You are not a machine. You are an instrument. An instrument needs tuning between songs. Guard against 3 common traps. The first trap is busy loops. You repeat a move that feels active but does not move the line. If the output does not serve the finish, cut the loop. The second trap is perfection paralysis. You keep polishing a draft that needs to ship so it can teach you. Ship a small version. Receive feedback, then polish with purpose. The third trap is comparison cliffs. You look at someone else's summit and declare your hill worthless. Step back to your line. Ask if you are stronger and clearer than yesterday. That is the only fair test inside this arena. Use constraints to focus the force. A simple constraint reduces waste and raises quality. Limit the work surface. Limit the tools. Limit the time. When choices drop, craft rises. A chef cooks better with a short list of good ingredients than with a pantry of confusion. You can do the same. Name the tools for this session and lock the door on the rest. Turn setbacks into drills. If you stumble in the same spot twice, Extract that move and practice it by itself. Keep the drill short enough that you can finish it even on a rough day. For example, if your hands shake during important conversations, practice starting 3 calm openers while standing and breathing slow. If your writing stalls on introductions, write 5 simple first lines without judging them. When the drill becomes clean, put it back into the larger work. This is how athletes repair weak links without losing the season. Invite mild pressure on purpose. A little public exposure can sharpen your senses without flooding them. Share a small sample with a small audience. Offer help to a real person with a clear need. Volunteer to present a short update to your team. The point is contact with stakes that matter but do not crush. Under mild pressure, your form becomes honest. Honest form accelerates learning. Stitch your sessions together with a weekly review that respects evidence. At the end of the week, lay out your small cards. Answer 3 questions in plain words. What moved forward? What stalled? What deserves tomorrow? If something moved, ask why and do more of that. If something stalled, ask whether the load was wrong, the form was off, or the task does not matter enough to keep. Then adjust the plan. A good review is not a courtroom. It is a workshop where you place the piece back on the bench and make the next careful cut. Care for the emotion that rides with effort. Some days you will leave the bench feeling strong and proud. Other days you will feel flat or doubtful. Let the feeling pass through without letting it steer the next choice. Show up for the next session because you said you would, not because you always feel like it. Calluses do not ask for a pep rally. They ask for a return. Remember why this matters for your season of life. You carry real responsibilities. You do not have time to waste on motion that does not build. The callus metaphor is not about hardness toward people or toward yourself. It is about useful protection so that you can keep serving with steadier hands. You are making a living. You are also making a life. Steady hands help with both. Now your micro-action. Choose one task that produces a visible outcome before the day is done. Define a clear finish line. Remove one distraction. Begin. When you finish, write the 3 lines on a small card. Attempt, lesson, adjustment. Place the card where your eyes will land tomorrow morning. Repeat this cycle 3 times this week. By the 3rd run, you will feel the first thin layer of protection. It will not announce itself. It will simply be there when the work presses back. Soft bridge to the next chapter. You have met friction with form and turned repetition into quiet strength. Storms are coming, as they always do. The wind will rise and people will say no. In the next chapter, you will learn how to use that wind to climb. How to keep your line steady when gusts arrive. And how to turn rejection into lift rather than letting it break your string. Chapter 5. The Kite and the Wind. Picture a kite in a wide field. It is light, simple, and honest about what it can and cannot do. The wind rises. Most people think wind is the problem. The kite knows wind is the reason it can climb. Your work and your life will meet wind in many forms: delay, rejection, changing plans, mixed messages, and sudden pressure. This chapter teaches you how to meet the wind with a steady line so resistance becomes lift. You will not chase storms for drama. You will use what arrives. Conserve your strength and rise with intention. Begin with the string in your hand. The string is your emotional regulation and your healthy detachment from outcomes. Without a steady string, the best wind throws you into a spiral. A steady string does not mean you stop feeling. It means you feel and still choose the next right move. Before you step into a windy day, pick a simple anchor for your attention. It can be the sensation of breath in your nose, the pressure of your feet in your shoes, or the sound of your exhale. When gusts come, you return attention to that anchor for a few slow cycles. This small act keeps the kite attached to a human hand. Now consider the body of the kite. It needs enough structure to hold shape and enough flexibility to bend without breaking. In practice, this means you plan your moves and also leave space to adjust. Create a short checklist that prepares you for contact, the goal of the day, the smallest action that moves it, the boundary for effort, and the plan for recovery. The checklist stays short on purpose. Too many rules turn the kite rigid. Rigid kites snap in real wind. Flexible kites ride it. Rejection is a common gust. Many people fear the word no because they tie it to personal worth. In the kite field, no is information about timing, fit, or message. Shift your metric from instant acceptance to honest contact. Set a contact target for a day or a week. You reach the right people with a clear offer a set number of times. You count the act, not only the outcome. When a no arrives, you log it in plain words. Who you reached, what you offered, what happened, and what you learned. The log cools the emotion and turns the moment into lift. Follow-ups are the gentle tugs on the line that keep the kite in good air. A follow-up is not pressure. It is care and clarity. After a no or a silence, send a brief and respectful note that offers a next step, a new time window, or a simpler version of help. If the second note does not land, you release the line and let that wind go. There is wisdom in letting some gusts pass. A kite does not chase every swirl. It seeks the steady current that carries it higher. Refit your message for fit and timing without betraying your values. When you face repeated headwind in one direction, adjust the angle of the kite. The same core offer can be told in simpler words, can be shown with a small sample, or can be aimed at a group that needs it now. You are not changing your nature. You are changing your angle to the wind. Small angle changes can transform drag into lift. Protect your line from fray. The line frays when you carry too much noise or stare too long at a glowing screen or deny the need for sleep. Recovery is part of flight. Schedule small resets before you need them. Take a short walk with your eyes on distant objects to relax tight focus. Drink water. Eat something simple. Step outside for fresh air. A short reset saves hours of wasted struggle. Many adults confuse grinding with grit. True grit includes timely rest so the line does not snap. Learn to read the sky. Not all wind is useful. Some gusts swirl close to the ground and do not lift. This appears as debates that go nowhere, commitments that are always later, or rooms that admire wind more than work. Step out of those pockets. Walk to clearer air where people trade in actions and outcomes. If you cannot avoid a low gust, keep your kite low and stable until the swirl passes. There is no honor in breaking the spar to prove you are brave. Invite calibration on purpose. A small, safe audience can tell you if your angle is right. Share a tiny sample of your work or offer a short free clinic to a few people who match your ideal group. Watch what lands and what confuses. Ask what moved them and what did not. Use this to trim your kite. A millimeter at the spar can be a meter at altitude. Tiny corrections at the source create large gains in the air. Hold both patience and cadence. A kite climbs in steps. It does not jump to the clouds in one pull. You work for a short, focused period and then you hold. The hold is not idle. It is observation. You feel the tension on the line. You watch the angle. You listen to the fabric. If the line slackens, you step forward. If the line screams, you ease back. This cadence keeps you from yanking in panic or drifting in boredom. Over time, your hands learn the rhythm and your responses become quiet and fast. Name your storms accurately. Some storms are external, market shifts, a partner delay, a family need. Some storms are internal, a belief that demands perfection, a story that says you are late, a fear of being seen. The kite does not care where the wind comes from. Your plan does. External storms ask for logistics, reorder tasks, renegotiate timelines, reduce scope, or ask for help. Internal storms ask for compassion, a walk, an honest talk with a friend, a page of writing to clear the noise. Mismatched responses waste strength. Build a simple ritual that closes a windy day. Place the kite back in its sleeve with care. In practice, file your contact log, capture 3 lessons, and thank yourself for showing up. Then change environments. Step into a different room. Wash your face. Put on a song that signals the end of work. This ritual protects your relationships from leftover gusts and helps you return tomorrow with clean hands. Be firm about what you will not trade to chase lift. You do not trade integrity for reach. You do not trade health for speed. You do not trade essential relationships for applause. These rules keep the field open for years instead of weeks. A consistent kite that flies often will pass the one that soars once and then tears. Now your micro-action. Choose one form of wind that you meet this week: rejection and outreach, delay on an approval, or a sudden change in requirements. Define one small contact goal you control, such as a set number of outreach actions or a single clear sample delivered. Prepare a 2-line follow-up in plain words that offers one easy next step. Log each contact in a simple table with the person, the offer, the outcome, and one lesson. End the day with a brief reset and a note of thanks to yourself for holding the line. Soft bridge to the next chapter. Lift is only useful when it carries you towards something that matters. You now know how to ride the wind. Next, you will learn how to drop anchors at the right moments so effort turns into outcomes you can see, count, and build upon. Chapter 6. Anchor into outcomes. An anchor does not hold a ship forever. It holds long enough to do meaningful work. Without an anchor, the wind you learn to ride can carry you far, but not always in the direction that matters. This chapter turns motion into progress by tying your effort to clear outputs. You will choose what to ship, when to pause, and how to measure movement in ways that respect your season of life. The aim is a rhythm you can keep for years, not a sprint that burns bright and ends cold. Begin by choosing outcomes you can see and touch. Vague goals invite drift. Tangible outputs invite focus. A finished draft, a working sample, a booked conversation, a documented process, a client helped. a lesson taught, a small page that shows what you offer. Pick one outcome for the week that fits inside your current load. Your load includes work, family, health, and the quiet maintenance that keeps your life humane. The right anchor respects that full reality. If the outcome feels too large, slice it until a busy grown adult could finish it without breaking. Small does not mean shallow. Small means shippable. Now name leading actions and lagging confirmations. Leading actions are the things you control each day. Write for a short window. Build one feature. Reach out to one person with a clear ask. Close one loop you left open. Lagging confirmations are the signals that appear later. A reply, a delivered result, a small payment, a measurable improvement in a process. Write 3 leading actions you can do this week. Write 2 lagging confirmations you expect over the next few weeks. Leading actions are the rope. Lagging confirmations are the view of the shore after you pull. Set a daily anchor window. This is a protected block of time where your best energy meets your most important outcome. For many, this is the first quiet hour of the morning. For others, it sits after the house settles in the evening. The clock matters less than the protection. During the window, remove one distraction, place your phone in another room, close extra tabs, or put on noise-reducing headphones. The anchor window trains your mind to expect depth at a predictable time. Over weeks, the body learns the cue and settles faster. Define a finish line for each anchor session. What will exist at the end that did not exist at the start? A paragraph, a diagram, a checklist, a call made, a proposal sent. Be exact in plain words. The finish line must be close enough that you can see it from here. When you reach it, stop and mark the spot. A small win recorded is an anchor reset. It keeps you from drifting into endless tinkering. It also gives you a clean point to resume tomorrow. Use a simple outcome ledger. On a single page, list the date, the session goal, the result, and one lesson. Keep the entries short. The ledger is not a diary, it is proof. At the end of the week, you will lay the ledger beside your map and your compass. The 3 together tell a coherent story. The compass asks if your work fits your values and energy. The map shows where it sits in the landscape. The anchor ledger proves that the work left the shore. Beware of motion that impersonates progress. Some tasks create the feeling of movement without moving anything that matters. Organizing files for the 10th time, polishing a sentence that already reads clean, scrolling for inspiration that never turns into creation. When you sense this drift, ask one question. What is the smallest thing I could ship in the next short block that would help a real person or advance a real piece? Then do that. Save polish for after contact with reality. Reality will tell you where polish belongs. Tie your outcomes to relationships. A ship anchored alone can still drift in the mind. When your work touches real people, the line grows firm. If you build product, set an outcome that places it in one pair of hands. If you teach, set an outcome that delivers one clear lesson to one learner. If you lead, set an outcome that removes one friction point for your team. When another person benefits, your brain receives a deeper reward and your discipline becomes easier to keep. Protect your anchor from scope creep. Scope creep is what happens when a small piece tries to become an entire project midstream. You started with a page, and suddenly it asks to be a book. You started with a simple demo, and suddenly it wants a full launch. When you feel the pull, capture the larger idea on a separate note and park it. Return to the original finish line and cross it. Later, during review time, you can decide which parked ideas deserve a new anchor. This practice prevents daily overwhelm and keeps your promises to yourself. Measure what matters at the right cadence. Some results need daily attention. Others need weekly or monthly checks. Daily checks are for effort and completion. Weekly checks are for pattern and momentum. Monthly checks are for outcomes that require time to mature. If you check a long-term outcome every hour, you create false disappointment. If you ignore a short-term action for a month, you create avoidable drift. Set the cadence with intention and stick to it with kindness. Design a weekly review that fits into a real life. End the week by answering 3 plain questions. What moved? What stalled? What deserves tomorrow? If something moved, identify the cause and choose to repeat it. If something stalled, diagnose honestly, wrong load, unclear finish line, or hidden fear. Adjust without drama. Place next week's anchor sessions on your calendar before you close the review. A promise on paper is easier to keep than a promise floating in your head. Use public artifacts to lock gains. A public artifact is a small piece of work others can see, a post that teaches one lesson, a short case study, a before and after image, a simple page that explains your offer. Public artifacts multiply your effort by inviting pull. They also hold you to a standard without inviting endless stress. Keep them small and regular. Over a season, the pile becomes a portfolio that speaks for you when you are not in the room. Respect the seasons of load. There will be weeks when family or health must claim more space. On those weeks, reduce scope, but keep the anchor habit alive. A small session that ships a tiny piece keeps the muscle from fading. Think maintenance mode rather than perfection mode. When the season shifts and you have more room, you can widen the scope again without having to rebuild from zero. Hold a boundary on what you will not trade to hit a metric. You do not trade integrity for a quick win. You do not trade sleep for vanity progress. You do not trade essential relationships for temporary reach. These rules keep your ship seaworthy. Outcomes earned at the cost of your core will not serve you long. Now your micro-action. Choose one outcome you can complete within the next day. Write it in plain words. Pick 2 leading actions you control. Place 1 anchor window on your calendar and protect it. Remove 1 distraction. Begin. When you finish, log the result and 1 lesson in your ledger. Then share a tiny proof with 1 person who will benefit or who can give honest feedback. This single anchor will begin to turn motion into a path you can trust. Soft bridge to the next chapter. You have tied effort to real outputs and learned to hold steady until the work lands. Pieces are on the table now, each with a small shine of its own. In the next chapter, you will arrange those tiles into a mosaic, combining strengths into a pattern that looks like you and serves the people who need you most. Chapter 7. The Mosaic of Superpowers. Spread your tiles on the table. Each tile is a small proof from your recent work, a steady callus formed by action, a tiny artifact that landed, a value kept under pressure, a bit of strength that showed itself when the wind rose. Alone, a tile looks modest. Together, the tiles can form a mosaic that is recognizably you. This chapter is about arranging those pieces into a pattern that serves people, travels well across seasons, and makes your contribution easy to understand without you in the room. Begin with the center of the mosaic. The center is not a slogan. It is the outcome you reliably create when you show up as yourself. Think of the last few weeks. When you entered a messy situation, what tended to improve? When you met a person in need, what eased? When you worked with a team, what moved? Write one plain sentence that names this center. Keep it human and grounded. You are not trying to sound grand. You are trying to be clear. The center tile is the anchor that makes every other tile make sense. Now choose the companion tiles that lock to the center. These are your steady strengths in pairs or trios. Courage on its own can be loud. Courage with care becomes trust. Curiosity on its own can wander. Curiosity with analysis becomes insight that others can use. Patience on its own can look passive. Patience with rhythm becomes consistent output people can count on. Place these pairings around the center tile. Say them in simple words. The point is to see pattern, not to impress yourself with vocabulary. Add a constraint that sharpens the image. A good mosaic is not a blur of colors. It has lines. Lines come from limits you accept on purpose, a tool you favor, a niche you serve deeply, a channel where your voice carries best, a time window that matches your energy. Constraints do not reduce your freedom. They reduce waste. If you write best in early hours, let that be a line. If you serve a clear group, let that be a line. If you teach better with examples than theory, let that be a line. These lines will keep your pattern crisp when life gets busy. Place proof tiles next. Proof tiles are the small artifacts you shipped in the last chapter. A page that taught one lesson, a working sample, a short case that shows a before and an after, a person who thanked you because something got easier. Proof tiles turn claims into evidence. Arrange a few around the strengths they reflect. When someone looks at the mosaic, they should be able to scan proof without asking you to explain. Now consider the color of your tiles. Color is tone. Some people bring calm, others bring spark. Some bring precise order, others bring brave motion. Your tone is part of your value. If people exhale when you enter a room, that belongs in the mosaic. If people move from talk to action when you join, that belongs too. Name the tone you consistently carry and choose examples that show it. Tone is easy to miss because it feels natural to you. It is also what people remember when the task ends. Check the edges of the pattern. Every mosaic has an edge where you stop on purpose. Edges protect your focus and your health. If an offer pulls you beyond the edge, the pattern blurs and the tiles crack. Define a few clear no's that keep the image strong. For example, you may refuse work that trades integrity for reach, or schedules that eat your recovery, or rooms that shrink your voice. Quiet edges declare your standards without drama. They also make your yes more powerful. Invite outside eyes to walk around the table. Mirrors and mentors can spot symmetry and gaps that you miss. Ask them to describe your pattern in their own words. Listen for phrases that repeat. You are not fishing for praise. You are listening for the obvious that you overlook. If 2 or 3 people call out the same pairing, weight that area heavier. If they never mention a tile you thought was central, consider moving it to the margin. The goal is not to please the room. The goal is to make the picture true. Translate the mosaic into a single paragraph that a neighbor could understand. Use everyday language. Name who benefits from your pattern. Name the kind of problems you help resolve. Name how you do it in simple moves. End with the smallest next step for a person who might need you. This paragraph is not a sales pitch. It is a map legend. It helps people read what they are already seeing. Turn the paragraph into a practice schedule. A mosaic does not stay vivid by accident. Colors fade without care. Choose a weekly rhythm that feeds your center tile and its companions. One block to deepen a gateway skill. One block to make a new proof tile. One block to maintain relationships in the rooms where your pattern belongs. Keep the blocks modest. You are aiming for years, not days. Vivid mosaics are built by gentle repetition that outlasts moods. Place the mosaic on the right wall. You learned in a previous chapter that context is a multiplier. The same pattern can shine or vanish depending on the room. Choose a small set of arenas where your image fits the need and the culture. Share your proof tiles there. Teach one lesson there. Offer one small help there. Notice who leans in without a hard push. That is a sign the wall fits the art. When the wall is right, you do not have to yell. The room does part of the work for you. Mind two distortions that can warp your pattern. The first is imitation. You see another mosaic admired, and you paint over your tiles to match their colors. The result is confusion. Respect what inspires you, but return to your own center afterward. The second is inflation. You try to make the image look bigger than your current proof. Inflation brings short attention and long regret. Let scale follow evidence. Your pattern will grow as your pile of proof grows. Use small frames to show parts of the mosaic up close. People often need a focused view before they can appreciate the whole. A short case study that shows how your calm turned a tense meeting. A simple thread that demonstrates how your system cut waste from a process. A one-page guide that captures your method for a narrow step. These frames draw attention to the tiles that most matter and invite the right people to ask for more. Build a renewal ritual so tiles do not dull. At the end of each month, choose one area to refresh. Replace an old proof with a newer one. Retire a tile that no longer represents your best. Add a thin line where a new constraint has helped you. Clean the grout by removing jargon and making the paragraph even simpler. Renewal is quiet work that pays for itself in clarity. Honor season and scale. In heavy seasons, preserve the core of the mosaic with minimum maintenance. Keep one proof tile fresh. Keep one relationship warm. Keep one practice block alive. When the season opens, widen the work with care so the pattern expands without cracking. Your life is not a straight hallway. It is a set of rooms. Carry the same image from room to room at a size that fits. Now your micro-action. Gather 3 to 5 recent proof tiles. Lay them in front of you. Write one plain sentence for the center outcome you create. Pair 2 of your steady strengths and note how they combine into a single move people value. Add one constraint that keeps the image sharp. Draft a short paragraph that a neighbor would understand. Share this paragraph with one trusted person and ask what they see first. Adjust one detail based on what you learn. Pin the paragraph where you plan your week. Soft bridge to the next chapter. A clear mosaic still needs the right wall to carry its sound. You will place your pattern in rooms where it echoes, with audiences who need it now, at moments when it multiplies. In the next chapter, you will learn how context amplifies your work, how to choose halls that fit your voice, and how to let the right pull replace constant push. Chapter 8. Context is a multiplier. A song in the right hall sounds larger than life. The same notes in a noisy room disappear. Your work behaves the same way. Context can lift your voice or swallow it. You have shaped a mosaic of strengths and proof. Now you will place that mosaic where people can see it, need it, and carry it further. This chapter shows you how to choose rooms, set timing, read signals, and let pull replace constant push. It is not about chasing every stage. It is about choosing halls that fit your tone and your promise. Begin with audience. Who benefits fast and clearly when you show up? Not a vague crowd, a real group with a shared need. Describe them in plain words. What they are trying to do. What slows them down. What they have already tried. What they value when the day is long. Your mosaic is a pattern of help. Help needs a person to land. When you define a person, your message stops floating and starts walking. Now consider timing. Even the right hall can be empty at the wrong hour. List the moments in a week or a season when your audience feels the pain you solve most. Early week when plans set. End of month when reports lock. Yearly budget windows. Mornings for focus topics. Evenings for reflection topics. Place your offers and artifacts at those moments. Your work will feel timely without shouting. Choose channels that match your tone. Calm instruction fits places that reward depth. Quick sparks fit places that reward momentum. If your voice is steady and patient, long-form notes, workshops, and small group calls will carry it. If your voice is bright and activating, short demos and live check-ins will serve you. Do not force your tone through a channel that fights it. You will burn energy pressing uphill. Pick 2 main channels and learn their rhythms well before you add a third. Run placement tests. A placement test is a small offer in a specific room to see if your work resonates. Share a short case where your pattern solved a real problem. Teach one narrow lesson that removes a common block. Offer a small clinic with a simple outcome. Keep each test small and measurable. The measure is not applause. The measure is next steps, replies that ask for more, requests to apply it here, people who bring a friend next time. When a room answers with real next steps, you have found a hall that carries your song. Learn to read pull versus push. Pull feels like doors opening when you show a small proof. Push feels like you dragging a heavy door alone. Pull shows up as inbound questions, simple referrals, and people repeating your phrases when they explain you to others. Push shows up as constant persuasion, price debates on every line, and rooms that forget you the moment you leave. Favor pull. You still act and reach out, but you do so where the air already moves in your direction. Price your value without apology and without drama. Context helps here too. Price in rooms where outcomes matter more than appearance. State your offer and the change it creates in plain words. Then name the price as a clean fact. If a room only bargains and never values, it is the wrong room. You are not trying to win every buyer. You are trying to serve the buyers who benefit the most and stay the longest. A fair price in a fitting context builds trust on both sides. Say no to rooms that shrink you. A shrinking room asks you to bend your values, hide your tone, or overpromise to be accepted. Declining these stages is not a loss. It is a vote for coherence. Keep a short list of red flags, constant rush without reason, leaders who talk over others, audiences that applaud noise more than help, metrics that reward spectacle over effect. When you see 2 or more flags, step aside with grace and save your strength. Use allies to enter new halls. An ally is someone whose pattern fits next to yours, so both patterns look stronger. Co-teach a short session. Swap a tiny feature in your products. Join a panel where your lens adds an angle the room lacks. The aim is cross-trust, not celebrity glow. When 2 patterns reinforce, the hall hears harmony and invites you both back. Bring proof to the door. Do not arrive at a new room with only a promise. Bring a short artifact that the room can touch. A 1-page guide, a before and after image, a tiny toolkit that solves one step. Proof lowers the risk for a host and speeds trust with an audience. It also keeps you honest. You are offering what you have done, not a dream you hope to do someday. Design on-ramps that are respectful. An on-ramp is an easy first step that lets people try your pattern with low risk. A short call to map their situation. A starter lesson that takes less than an hour. A sample tool that saves them 1 daily annoyance. Make the on-ramp clear, small, and useful on its own. If a person never takes a second step, they should still be better off. This is not only kind, it is effective. People return to places that helped them without a catch. Protect your capacity as you grow. Right rooms can still overload you if you say yes without limits. Set a simple rule for new commitments, a cap on active clients, a cap on live sessions per week, a cap on large builds per quarter. When you hit the cap, move new interests to a wait list or a later window. Scarcity here is not a trick. It is care for your quality and your life. Adapt your message by angle, not by essence. In one hall, you lead with relief. In another, you lead with speed. In another, you lead with clarity. The core remains the same. Only the angle changes, so the first touch feels true to the room. Write 3 versions of your first paragraph that match 3 contexts. Practice them until they sound natural. The goal is fit without contortion. Measure placement with a short scorecard. After each test or engagement, answer 3 lines. Did people ask for a next step? Did my energy feel clean during and after? Did the room remember the point a day later? If 2 lines say yes, repeat the room. If 1 line says yes, adjust the angle and try once more. If all say no, thank the hall and move on. Stay available where your people already gather. Many adults waste force trying to drag a crowd to a new platform they prefer. Go to them first. Serve there well. Later, invite a subset to your preferred place with a clear reason, deeper work, better cadence, fewer distractions. Move gently. Respect their habits. You are building a long road, not a funnel that treats people like numbers. Use seasons of attention. Public attention moves in waves. Tie your visible pushes to the wave and use the quiet troughs for depth work. In a wave, you share proof tiles, teach live, and invite next steps. In a trough, you improve tools, refresh your mosaic, and build the next artifact. This rhythm avoids burnout and keeps your quality rising while the surface looks calm. Hold your non-trade rules when context pressures you. Rapid growth can tempt you to promise more than you can deliver, to cut rest, or to flatten your tone to please a larger room. Remember your oath. You do not trade integrity, health, or essential relationships for reach. Rooms that require these trades are debt. Debt calls itself opportunity. You pay later with interest. Now your micro-action. Pick one room where your people already are, and one small offer that fits a pain they feel this week. Choose a time that matches their pattern. Bring one proof tile and one on-ramp. After the session, fill your 3-line scorecard. If the room answers with pull, schedule a repeat. If not, adjust the angle or change the hall. Soft bridge to the next chapter. In the right hall, echoes return. Those echoes carry language that can help you see yourself clearly. Next, you will stand before mirrors and walk with mentors, gathering the words and the guidance that refine your pattern without bending your core. Chapter 9. Mirrors and Mentors. You live inside your own face. That makes it hard to see yourself with clean eyes. Mirrors help. Mentors guide. A good mirror reflects what is already there without warping. A good mentor holds the lamp a little higher so you can see the path you are already on. This chapter teaches you how to collect clear reflections, how to invite guidance without losing your voice, and how to turn what you learn into practice that endures. The work is gentle and exact. You are not trying to become a new person. You are learning to name and refine the person you already are when you are at your best. Start by building a small hall of mirrors. Choose a few people who have watched you work under real pressure. They might be teammates, clients, collaborators, or friends who have seen you keep promises when days were long. Ask them simple questions in plain words. When did I help more than you expected? What do you come to me for first? What changes in the room when I join? Keep the request short and respectful. The point is to gather natural language, not speeches. When the answers arrive, do not argue. Copy exact phrases into a single page and sit with them. Reality often shows up in the words other people use to describe the moments you take for granted. Next, polish the mirrors by checking incentives. Not every reflection is clean. Some people need you to be a certain shape for their comfort. Some owe you a favor and will only speak praise. Some compete with you quietly and will pull you off your line. A clear mirror shows proof and offers specifics. A warped mirror speaks in fog and pushes you toward choices that do not match your values. Keep a rule for yourself. If feedback names a real scene, shows a before and after, and lands in your body as both kind and true, keep it. If it feels like control or theater, set it down. Now that you have language, turn it into a small identity note. Write one short paragraph in everyday words. In rooms that match my values, I tend to create this kind of change by doing these steady moves. I do my best work at these times. I am not the right answer for these patterns. This note is not a performance. It is a reminder. Post it near the place where you accept or decline requests. In a busy week, this note will save you from mirrors that ask you to become a stranger to yourself. Invite mentors in a way that keeps your spine straight. A mentor is not a rescue boat. A mentor is a lighthouse. You still steer. Choose people who have done real work over real years in a way that looks coherent with your values. When you reach out, offer something of use. Share a clean summary of your pattern in one paragraph. Name one narrow question that would help you unlock the next step. Propose one small way you can carry load for them, perhaps a brief research task, a simple build, or help hosting a session. This approach shows respect and turns the exchange into partnership rather than petition. Prepare for mentor meetings with the same care you bring to your anchor sessions. Bring a one-page brief, your mosaic paragraph, 2 or 3 proof tiles, the current challenge framed as a choice, and the decision deadline. Keep the talk grounded. Ask what they would notice, what edge they would sand, what they would stop, and what they would double. Take notes with your hand. When the meeting ends, translate the notes into a single action you can complete quickly. Momentum honors the mentor and trains you to value guidance through doing, not collecting. Protect yourself from false mentoring. Some voices carry status but not service. They like mirrors that flatter and paths that lead back to them. You can test for this gently. After a few exchanges, are you clearer or more tangled? Are you more yourself or are you shrinking? Are actions becoming simpler or are they multiplying into a fog? If clarity shrinks, step back with grace. You owe no one a long stay in a crooked hall. Turn reflections into drills. If mirrors keep pointing to the same rough edge, extract that move from your larger work and practice it in short, focused sets. For example, if several people say that your openings feel heavy, practice light starts for a few minutes each morning. If they say your conclusions fade, rehearse firm closes that tie outcomes to next steps. Keep drills small enough to finish even on a full day. When the drill becomes clean, return it to your larger craft and watch the lift. Build a reflection ledger that matches your outcome ledger. On one simple page, record the date, the mirror or mentor, the insight, and the next action you will take. Close each entry with one sentence on how it felt after you acted. That feeling matters. Clean improvement feels like room in the chest and focus in the eyes. Bent improvement feels like tight shoulders and a voice that no longer sounds like you. Trust the body while you read the page. Mind the rhythm of feedback. Too little, and you drift in your own echo. Too much, and you drown in other people's echoes. A healthy rhythm might be one short mirror check each week and one mentor touch each month, adjusted to your season. Between touches, do the work. Let reality respond. Then return to the mirrors and adjust. This cadence keeps you out of panic loops where you seek reassurance instead of results. Guard your boundaries while staying teachable. You can thank someone for a reflection and still decline to change. You can accept a small correction and still hold your line on the larger choice. Teachable does not mean bendable on your core. It means open to better form inside your core. Your oath to yourself from earlier chapters still stands. You do not trade integrity, health, or essential relationships to please a mirror. Clean mirrors never ask you to. Use peer mirrors for day-to-day calibration. A peer who is walking at your pace will see details that a distant mentor cannot. Create a short ritual with 1 or 2 peers. Share a weekly proof tile, give 1 line of feedback each, and name 1 small promise for next week. Keep it light, kind, and specific. Peer mirrors work because they share the weather. They also keep you honest in the small places where pride likes to hide. Invite mirrors from the people you serve. The most valuable reflections often come from the ones you helped. Ask after the fact, what changed that mattered to you? What felt heavy? What felt clear? What could be simpler next time? When you receive praise, translate it into a concrete behavior to keep. When you receive a sting, thank it. Then design a drill. Service shaped by real recipients becomes easier to repeat and easier to recommend. Watch for the language that returns. When several mirrors use the same phrase to describe your best work, adopt that phrase in your mosaic paragraph. It will make it easier for new rooms to understand you quickly. Be careful not to borrow language that promises more than you can deliver. Keep your words as simple as the proof you can show within a season. Language that fits proof is a mirror in sentence form. Close each quarter with a mirror walk. Lay out your proof tiles. Read your reflection ledger. Review your mentor notes, and update your mosaic paragraph. Retire any tile that no longer shows your best. Move a rising tile toward the center if results support it. Note one habit that protected you and one habit that taxed you. Choose one gentle experiment for the next quarter based on what the mirrors agree will help most. This ritual keeps your image current without chasing novelty. Care for the heart that stands in front of glass. Mirrors can make you brave or brittle. On days when feedback stings, remember that the mirror is trying to show you a cleaner version of what you already want. Step outside. Breathe. Let the sting cool. Return when your tone is kind. On days when praise swells, remember that mirrors reflect a moment, not a final truth. Smile, write one grateful line, and go back to the bench. The bench is where praise becomes skill. Now your micro-action. Send a short note to 2 people who have seen you do real work. Ask the 3 questions in plain words. When did I help more than you expected? What do you come to me for first? What changes in the room when I join? Copy their words to one page. From that page, design one tiny drill that you can finish this week. Run the drill twice. Log what you felt and what improved. Then send a thank you to your mirrors with one line on what you changed. Soft bridge to the next chapter. You now have clear glass and steady lamps. You can name your pattern without shrinking it or inflating it. The final step is a living promise. In the closing chapter, you will write an oath you can keep in motion, one that guards your core, guides your seasons, and turns your work into a quiet force that lasts. Chapter 10. The Irreplaceable Oath. An oath is a promise you make in motion. It is not carved in stone or hidden in a journal. It is lived each day in clear steps that match your core. Today you write a simple oath that guards what matters, guides your seasons, and turns your work into a quiet force that lasts. This is the chapter where you stop trying on identities and decide to be the person your proof already shows. The tone is firm because the world will pull. The tone is kind because you are human and life is real. Begin by naming the ground you stand on. Write a short line for each pillar you refuse to trade. Integrity over applause, health over speed, essential relationships over reach, useful service over empty performance. Keep the pillars few and strong. An oath with too many rules becomes a cage. An oath with a few clear pillars becomes a sturdy floor. Read these lines aloud once. Feel how they set your posture. When the day gets loud, you will return to this ground and stand. Next, tie your oath to rhythm. Because promises without rhythm drift. Choose a simple cadence that you can keep in heavy weeks and in light weeks. One anchor window on most days for deep work that leads to visible outcomes. One session each week to make or refresh a proof tile. One short walk each day to clear the mind and reset the breath. One weekly review that asks what moved, what stalled, and what deserves tomorrow. One monthly refresh of your mosaic paragraph and your map. The cadence does not need to impress anyone. It needs to repeat. Repetition is how an oath takes root. Now define the edges that protect your form. An oath is easier to keep when you know where you will not go. Write a brief list of red lines that keep the picture sharp. You do not accept rooms that demand you bend your values. You do not accept timelines that quietly require you to break your health. You do not accept work that shrinks your voice to fit someone else's fear. You do not leave your people behind to chase a stage that will forget you. These edges are not about drama. They are about duration. You are building a long road. Turn to your tools. An oath is not only spirit, it is also practice. Keep a small set of tools you handle well. A notebook for the compass and the ledger. A calendar with light blocks that protect your anchor windows. A simple scorecard for placement tests. A short template for follow-ups. A one-page guide you can hand to anyone who asks what you do. When the world shakes you, tools let your hands keep moving while your heart steadies. Tools turn the vow into muscle memory. Write an oath in plain language that a neighbor would understand. It might read like this in your own words. I will place my best energy on work that fits my values and helps real people. I will keep a steady rhythm I can carry for years. I will protect my health and my relationships while I build. I will show proof regularly. I will say no to rooms that blur my voice. I will keep learning with humility. I will rest before I rust. I will be useful where it counts. Make it yours. Keep it short enough to remember when the room gets noisy. Seal the oath with a visible act. A promise is stronger when your body does something that marks the turn. You can copy the oath by hand on a card and tape it where you decide things. You can record a short voice note reading it and play it each morning for 1 week. You can send a brief message to one trusted person, sharing your core lines and your next small step. The act is not for show. It is a lever that moves your mind from idea to practice. Face the cost with clear eyes. Every real oath demands a trade. You will give up the thrill of chasing every bright path. You will give up the comfort of saying yes to please the room. You will give up the false relief of busy loops that look like progress and waste your life. In return, you will gain coherence, a sense that your days fit together. You will gain respect for yourself, the quiet kind that settles the chest. You will gain steady outcomes that stack and speak for you. You will gain time because you are not undoing yesterday's confused promises. Prepare for storms with a reset plan. Even strong oaths bend in weather. Write a simple reset you can run when you feel pulled off course. 3 steps are plenty. Step 1. Stop and breathe until your chest loosens. Step 2. Read the pillars and remove one commitment that does not fit. Step 3. Do one anchor action that matches your mosaic, then log it. This reset brings you home without shame. Shame wastes hours. A reset wastes minutes and restores trust. Invite accountability that respects your life. Share your oath with one peer who also keeps a craft. Agree on a short weekly exchange. Each of you sends one proof tile, one lesson, and one adjustment. Keep it friendly, brief, and specific. No long debates. No posture. The goal is to keep your hands honest, not to perform purity. You can also place a tiny public artifact each month that reflects your oath in action, a small how-to, a case update, or a tool you refined. Public proof is a quiet contract with the people you serve. Guard against two common breaks. The first is inflation. Your work gets attention, and you start promising more than your rhythm can deliver. Slow the promise until the rhythm catches up. Attention is a gust. Your oath is the line. The second is erosion. You stop doing the small practices because they seem too simple. Weeks pass. The support beams grow thin. Return to the basics before you feel the floor shake. Basics are called basics because they carry weight. Keep the end in mind without romantic fog. Imagine a season of years where you followed this oath most days. You would have a pile of artifacts that improve lives. You would have a small circle of rooms that welcome you with trust. You would have a body that can keep going. You would have a story you can tell your people without flinching. That is worth the daily choice to keep the line steady. Now your micro-action. Write your oath on one card in plain words. Place it where you decide. Schedule one anchor window in the next day and name the small outcome you will ship. Send one short note to a peer or partner with your promise and the step you will take. When the step is done, log it in your ledger and touch the card with your hand. This touch is your seal for today. Tomorrow you will do it again. The book closes, but your work opens. You carry a compass that points to what matters, a map that shows the paths, calluses that protect your hands, a kite line you can hold in wind, anchors that turn effort into outcomes, a mosaic that speaks for you, halls that carry your sound, clear mirrors and steady lamps, and now an oath you can keep in motion. Take one real step, then another. Your path appears under your feet. You now carry a working system, not a pile of tips. You can enter the arena with calm. Follow your inner compass. Choose the right trail on your map. Turn friction into steady strength. Use headwind for lift. Tie effort to real outputs. Arrange your strengths into a clear mosaic. Place your work in fitting rooms. Learn from clean mirrors. And keep a simple oath in motion. The result is coherence. Your days stack. Your proof speaks. You feel sturdier and more useful to the people who count on you. If this guide helped you build that quiet line of force, support the work so it can reach more builders like you. Tap like if a single idea moved you forward today. Subscribe to receive the same calm guidance with clear steps you can use right away. Comment with one sentence naming the small artifact you will ship within the next day. And one promise from your oath you will keep this week. Share this with a friend who is ready to trade noise for practice. Turn on notifications so you do not miss the next session. Thank you for walking with me. Take one true step now.